Well, David, a lot of emotion today with the race named in honour of your great mate, Ross Tinniswood.
Yes, Nathan, it certainly is. He'd be feeling very proud, I think, that the BRC saw fit to have the race named after him. And I've got to tell you that I've known Ross. I actually knew him by sight before I knew his name. I think I saw him the first time in the flat at Albion Park in about 1962. He was there with his father. He was a very thin guy. He had a transistor around his neck and a pair of field glasses, as well as we all had. And I used to see him and his dad at the races every Saturday in the flat. And when I went to work with the health department in 1968, there was this guy who I had known by sight working in the laboratory next to me. And obviously we then struck up a friendship that was more than just horse racing, and we became lifelong friends.
That's a lovely story. He was an avid race goer, a long-time member of the QDC and BDC before the BRC. Lovely to see his wife and sons here today.
Yeah, they obviously tagged along with Ross's interest in horse racing. His wife Pam had other sporting activities on Saturdays of late, but Ross still found time to come to the races. And look, I should say that he was instrumental in me joining the Queensland Turf Club. I think I've said before how difficult it was to become a member in those days. Ross's dad knew some members, and then that got Ross as a member in about 1970, and then I was able to piggyback on him and a few other members soon after that, and I joined in, I think, 1971. That then took Ross and I to the races interstate. We went to Doncaster's and Epsom's and Melbourne Cups and Caulfield Cups, and we actually, I think, almost spent our honeymoons together. We both liked to travel interstate to the big race meetings, and I think you know that he maintained an interest, even though he wasn't well in the last few years of his life. He kept coming. He always had the camera around his neck. He loved to promote horse racing. He loved to take an interest in young jockeys emerging, and he made a lot of friends on Facebook as a result of his activities in that regard.
As you said, a long-time friend of the BRC, so it's very fitting that Chairman Neville Bell and his wife Mary's horse was able to win the race named after Ross today.
Yeah, that was a great touch, and I should have said that I was so proud when Ross was able to be elected to the Brisbane Turf Club, as it was then in about 2006. And Ross was a very avid supporter of the merger of the two clubs, and he fought strongly for the vote in favour of the merging when the BTC finally had their second vote and elected to join with the Queensland Turf Club. And he, I think, was very satisfied at that result.
Oh, well, thanks for your time, Dave. It was a nice gesture today to have the race for us.
Thank you, Nathan.
Beautiful.